3, 2, 1. All right, production, we should be live now. You can cue the show. Should be live now.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Let's like, share, subscribe. Let's fill it up. We got a great topic today.
Heels are worn by tens of millions of women every day, but the style
Pardon the
started with
tardiness.
men. Same deal for the color pink. Wigs, silk, stockings, fashionable with the founding fathers in the 18th century. Time and again, you find a certain fluidity in fashion. What was once manly might be considered feminine today, and vice versa. High heel, prime example. The origin is function, not fashion. During the 15th century, Persian soldiers wore high heels for support in their stirrups as they shot arrows while galloping on horseback. A century later, the Persian Empire had expanded. High-heeled shoes caught on in Western Europe. Louis XIV in France, maybe the first modern fashion icon, took the throne in 1643, and with long, curly hair and iconic red high heels, Louis was an early influencer. Today, the coveted red bottom heels are a nod to his bright red heels, which could only be worn
Lord
by his
was a
favored
blood.
nobles. And by the way, it was illegal to own heels taller than his highest pair, 5 inches. The founding fathers were partial to powdered wigs as well. It was a status symbol. Not only did they make men look older, and they thought thus wiser, but they were expensive. If you had one, you were considered high class. Today, lots of men just shave their thinning hair, but baldness was not exactly culturally acceptable. Louis XIV hired a team of 50 wig makers. King Charles of England did the same. You know, the diadem just can't possibly sit on a shiny royal dome. And what about the color pink? The plastics have some fellas to thank for that signature look.
Do you have anything pink?
Yes.
In 19th century England, pink was seen as a junior red, and it was common for boys to wear. Even in the 20th century, pink was seen as a stronger color.
We are live.
more
Please
suited
like,
for
share,
boys.
subscribe.
Blue
We
is
start
actually seen
shortly.
as daintier, more feminine. No one seems to know what caused the flip, but by the 1940s, clothing catalogs were pushing pink for girls, blue for boys. And men's fashion continues evolving to this day. Skinny pants, crop tops, floral prints, not long ago for women only. And now once again for the gents. Plus things like plastic surgery way up in the male population. Doctors say the men are going for the classics, but also now that insta look with fuller lips, prominent cheekbones. You can see the fashion churn never ends. And when it comes to the sexes, what goes around often comes around.
Right.
Brother,
I'm wiping it though. I'm gonna wipe it.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
wipe it. I'm gonna say, hey,
Tori's oldest brother, between us. Tori made me at Beta. And so, he just wanted to say a few words before we let you go here.
okay, yeah,
Brother Thomas, thank you so much for gracing us with your appearance, man. Grateful. You expanded our nation beyond belief. It's just a wonderful thing. And we would like to present you with the Self Luv Show first annual Ernest Lee Thomas Achievement Award.
oh man,
It's
oh, my
apropos
God.
that you are
Man,
the
don't
first
do that to
recipient.
me.
And Nope, we call it the Raj.
We're gonna call it the Rise.
Oh, I love it. Oh man,
Yeah, so we
my
have it on
God.
order. So it's gonna come here. We're gonna show it to the show, and then myself or Tasia deliver it to you or ship it to you from there.
Thank you, brother.
And even in this instance, if I could be a service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration,
Toxic.
and approval, and
Masculinity.
it has to come from within.
Versus hyper femininity. Oh, we're going to unpack it. Here we are. What you thought we wasn't? Yes, sir. Please like, share, subscribe.
This is your last chance.
Facts.
After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want.
It's the last chance, Mr.
You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Facts.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Facts. You couldn't handle the truth. Now you all butthurt. Don't want to come around no more. Yeah, buddy. Toot. Toot hurts. Got a toothache. Yeah, buddy. Howdy. Pippin doesn't tip. Yeah, buddy. Production. Cue the Scooter chose. What we got next week? Or the week after? We got the kid from Chicago in the building next week. Is there? And Self Love. Vision. Yeah, buddy. Much better. I'm just a kid from Chicago. I'm just a kid from Chicago. All right, y'all. So, welcome to Chi-Town's very own, the Self Love Show, where our motto is on earth as it is in heaven. Bing. And also, as above, so below. We are found Malcolm exclusively right here on the YouTube channel. Our moniker is This Ain't That Network. This ain't Ms. NBC. This ain't CNN. This ain't ABC. This ain't Disney. This ain't ESPN. This ain't Fox. I can go on and on. Whatever y'all, normally get y'all feed from. And they're all just pushing out the same information over and over and over and over and over on all the different channels at exactly the same time. Same information over and over and over. The programs are programming you to think that what they're talking about is truth, because they're saying it over and over and over, and they're wearing business suits and they're all saying the same thing. I feel like I'm digressing, but this is so this ain't that network. This is TATN. TATN. Huh? ESPN. TATN. Huh? McDonald's. Huh? McDowell's. I'm your co-host, 9 Mills, also known as Self. We're down, Chi-Town. We're down. Please repeat after me. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse, because today is Tuesday. Oh, May 4th, 2021. I'd like to acknowledge we all could be any place in this vast, magnanimous universe, and thankfully, we all Scooter chose to be right here together. That's right. We all Scooter chose to be here together. Self, why down, Mr. Wordsmith? What you manifesting this Tuesday evening, sir?
Love. I'm manifesting love, Self. What you manifesting?
Pure, unfiltered, often tough. Love, G.
It's a blessing.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's the weather like over there on your end, man? I know it'd be topsy-turvy with the Hawk, and then it's hot, and then it's humid, and then it's cold. What's been going on, bro?
It's back in the 40s.
What?
Yeah, it was like 48 today.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I was, I just came back from Vegas. I was in the hundreds. So I was clearly expecting to say, 70. It's humid. I flamed up the grill. No, none of that.
It's rainy. 40s.
Wow.
High 40s, but 40 is the same. I wasn't expecting to see anything 40.
Yeah, well, you know what? The silverbacks when I was growing up, they used to tell me it builds character. You know what I mean? Makes you a man, that kind of weather. Put some hair on your chest.
Topsy-turvy, it could get you sick.
Yeah, but they say something, put some hair on your chest too. I'm like, man, well, I'm sure there's a lot of men and women who were born and raised in Chicago and they don't have any hair on their chest.
I'm sure of that as well, but I do. And it didn't come from this cold weather. It came from good old DNA.
I thought you was about to say good old Hennessy. You know what I mean? Put some hair on the chest, bro.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, but we do have a really a great show lined up for everyone. So today, we're getting into just what the title says. We're going to explore. We're going to compare, I should say, the quote toxic masculinity end quote, versus. And we're talking about amongst males, and then there's some flipping on this too. We'll get into versus the quote hyper femininity end quote. Those are, I guess, loaded terms in themselves. Self love.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're loaded, and for good reason.
Yeah.
We're going to explore it. That's
right. We got to have something to unpack. I mean, you know what I mean? If there's no boxes full of junk, there's nothing to unpack. So we're, as Self Love said, we're going to explore and define toxic masculinity and why that term toxic, is utilized quite frequently. Also, does healthy masculinity exist? Because I would imagine if there's such a term as toxic masculinity, then what is healthy masculinity? Is the Black male becoming more effeminate? If so, is that targeted? Is it by design? Are Black females becoming more masculine? As though maybe they're, growing a unit. So can we say unit on this Ain't That Network? Yeah, on the show Self Love? Can we say unit?
Yes, we can say unit.
All right, if we get a ding.
Because it just means a digit.
All right. Now, there's that nasty, that evil Nation of Islam, because they're not Christians and they call white people devils. Ooh, evil. But that evil organization, I'm being tongue in cheek for all the idiots out there. Now they're going to talk about the biochemical component. We have some receipts where they said they have scientific evidence that no one ever looks at, bothers to take seriously. They just assume it's wrong. But there may be some things going on out there. It's like why we're having more men being born out there with man breast. You know what I mean? Out there.
Yeah.
and the vice versa. And so and so also we're going to preview Wednesday's show. Self, you've been talking about get on code. So
Yes.
So we've done some research. We've constructed a light code here, but that it's fluid. But we'll get into that, and then we're going to be looking for feedback and information from you silent majority out there likes to sit around. You see the code that came up? You see that code? I don't like that code. I don't like it. All they do is talk about what they don't like. And then, of course, my personal favorite tonight, Wordsmith's final words.
Ooh-wee.
Do not miss Wordsmith's final words. All right, it's clairvoyant out there. And also, let me roll into the announcements. Happy belated birthday to my mother-in-law. You know who you are. You know your name. That's right.
Happy.
That's right. Happy belated to Ace.
Yeah. Friend of the show. Y'all know Ace.
That's right. We went out there and turned up a little bit out there in Vegas over the weekend. I think he should be traveling. He might be home today already. And then please like, share, subscribe. And then our next tier, myself and my lovely wife are going to jump out of an airplane with a parachute. We've discussed it.
Yeah.
And
it's
with a professional
parachute.
And with a professional tandem jumper as well.
Oh, yes. Got to be.
Yeah, with insurance. Right. So we're going to
do one more announcement. Just want to say
congratulations
to my ship, JB, and his beautiful fiance on a new addition to the family.
Yes.
Godspeed and God bless.
Yeah, he had a boy, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yo, Noop. Yeah. Matter of fact, light up a cigar, right, Self Love?
Yep.
And for you kids out there, don't lie, get you some Big League Chew. I don't even know if they can still sell Big League Chew. Remember they said they were marketing chewing tobacco to the kids?
They were.
Well, I thought it was cool, Self. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, all right, so we were kids and
didn't know better.
Yeah, we didn't,
Yeah, well, I used to sit out there every inning, Self, for that out. He'd be spitting. And then I remember I was a freshman in high school. One of the pink kids gave me some real Big League Chew. Yeah, and I was chewing on it, and I got hit, and I swallowed it, and that was the end of my experience.
I know it was. I know that had to be a bad experience.
It was the end of it.
It's not meant to ingest it like that.
I don't think it was meant for the African American in you. So if you cats are out there, this is interactive. So we really want to hear from you cats how you feel about this. I mean, we don't want you to soften up. We can't talk about Silverdale. We can't talk about our communities. We need to unpack these types of things. So that's where we are now.
Please, we need y'all to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, so you get put on notice every time we go live or upload a video. We need your help. We're growing organically. And it's very important that you share this with like minds. I need you to share with like minds so we can grow this nation and keep it grooving, baby. We're on the Self Love Show quote of the day. If boys don't learn, men won't know. If boys don't learn, men won't know. Unknown. So we're going to have a little bit of housekeeping. Y'all know how we do. And then 2 very important videos. I need y'all to check them out because it is what we're building this nation upon.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37.
If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect
Marcus
liberty
to do so.
But for the time
Pick up some
being,
Marcus Liberty.
be willing to become
Big ups.
as a little child. For said the master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children. Ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparation. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Well, that would be me. 9 would be me. Yeah, some of these guys act like they're from other universes or other dimensions, like they're aliens, some of these 12 guys. But our last show was pretty informative, and we covered aliens. We ain't alone.
Oh man, amazing. Somebody stepped up and came on the panel.
Yeah,
with their experience.
Yeah, first-hand account.
Yeah.
Where was he out there in UP? Not UP. Was it UP?
No, it was
Crete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crete,
yeah. Had two encounters.
Yeah.
Right
out there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, and Brother Newman said science. Yo, Newt, and thanks for your support, brother. And
yes,
let's see, and then we got the Overseer, who was a great host. Hung out in the man cave out there in Vegas.
No doubt.
Yeah, great host, but gracious host. I mean, geez. I mean, you know what I mean? I couldn't burn my own sage. I'm like, I got demons all around me. You know what I mean? No, don't burn that. I got my own. You know what I mean? I got this. Yeah, I couldn't do anything. You know
right. Yeah, that was a good thing. That was a blessing.
Gracious host. So big ups to Omni and his family.
Great brother.
And, man, his beautiful daughter, man. I mean, big ups, bro. Big ups. So yeah, man, that like, share, subscribe, right, Self?
Yes, hit the bell. We've got 9 watching and we got 9 thumbs up. That's good job, everybody.
Nice. That's very good. And let's get 9 more in here. And if all 9 of you guys shared that to 3 people who you think would be who could add something to this discussion for whatever reason, or who just might want to ear hustle, right? Lurk out there in the weeds. Have at it. How much does it cost for them to share that link? Well, I guess that depends, right?
It's free 99. I mean, text messaging these days, if people are paying for text messaging, there's something going wrong in the world. What part of the world are you living in if you're paying for text messages? So it's free 99.
Self Love. Have you ever seen the movie The Boys? I think it was a Alfred Hitchcock joint back in the day, black and white.
I wasn't into him too much.
Yeah, he's from the
I
Shy,
do
bro.
kinda remember
I
it.
think he's from the Shy. At least he made his bones there. We might have to add him to the game. But yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, The Boys. But anyway, there's a video with these boys attacking this house like a scary movie. Have you seen that?
No. I'm pretty much unplugged, but
Nope, you gotta get a load of this. Self Love, good job, production. Whenever you guys are ready, let it rip.
Hundreds of birds
Imagine
swarm a
this.
house.
Oh
Then
my.
they do something amazing. They fly right into the chimney. It's an invasion. This fireplace is where the birds made entry into
My
the
cats
home.
would have
They
been in
flew
heaven.
in by the hundreds and left a wave of chaos
Oh my
and
God.
destruction. Look there, they're lining the windowsill with wings furiously flapping. They also attach themselves to the ceiling.
There were birds coming out of everywhere. It was insane.
So you-
Carrie lives in the
you didn't
home in
have the
Torrance,
flute
California.
clothes, huh?
Correct.
She said she called animal
Correct,
control,
son.
but was told simply to leave her
Yeah.
doors open. But the birds wouldn't budge.
During the migration
off your
too, you
head.
didn't have it
Patrick
closed.
Belville is Carrie's mom's boyfriend.
As soon as I walked in the door, I was looking for Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah,
It really was a lot
Man.
like Hitchcock's The Birds.
yeah. Look at that
The birds
movie.
wreak havoc on a California
This scared the crap
seaside
out of my
town.
big sister. She was scared of
We're on
the
the
boys.
curtains. I just grabbed them 2 at a time, so I had 4.
I'm not gonna
Get
run
rid of
away
the door
from a
and let 'em
bunch of
go.
boys.
It took Patrick 3 entire days to remove more than 1,500 birds by hand, and they left quite a mess.
Now, how long would it have taken if he would have went and got 2 cats? So
there that we couldn't reach.
if he'd have turned to lose
Incredibly,
2
the
alley
same
cats
thing
in that
just
house.
happened 100 miles north in Montecito.
Whoa.
And
Same
open the
time
door.
the flute
Oprah, Prince
closed
Harry,
either,
and
huh?
Meghan
Yeah, the
Markle
flute was
lived.
closed. Yeah.
Only a steel
I mean,
grate
they had
kept
the
1,000
grate. No, that
birds
was
out
the
of the
grate.
house.
Great.
Wildlife
Yeah,
biologist and host of TV's Ocean Treks,
Yeah, the flute is
Jeff
up
Corwin.
top.
This
Keep
is
the
the
air.
time
Yeah,
when
yeah.
birds from around the world roost, and they roost in the homes where they want to begin their families. They're just taking advantage
Look at
of
that.
what they feel is good structure and away from predators.
In my fireplace, I got a lever that I pull and it closes the flute. So
Right.
you're not using that thing out there.
Yeah, and it'd be also a good idea to get that grate too, and keep that thing on there.
Man, great and that. You need
Yeah.
both of them. Maybe you wouldn't have had them same issues.
But then, how would you get them out? Even if they like that lady,
That
I'm
grate.
smoke. What'd they do? Smoke them out? Like how'd they get them to go back up? Because they look like they were stuck. How'd he get 1,500 birds?
Probably didn't. They probably had to take them out of there like he did.
Or
That's why
put
you
'em to
gotta have that
sleep.
Flute closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some probably murder, death, kill involved out there.
Man, oh, you imagine all the germs, bro. Like they didn't say nothing about. We had hazmat come out and we had to spay.
Oh,
they
did
should
you
get
see
that.
all that mess was on it? You said,
Correct.
Oh, they left quite a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, a toxic mess.
And your homeowners, there's nothing in there where they can come out and spray some chemicals and clean. There's nothing in your homeowner's insurance that takes care of that.
I would have no idea about no birds.
If there's anybody in the chat that has any idea about, homeowners insurance and those types of claims, or want to do some, quick research, let us know if the homeowners insurance would cover that type of claim, please. So right there, Self Love.
Yeah, that's right. He's right.
Yeah, and then I'm the Overseer also added more growth and development. Yes, he's expanding. Right. Yeah,
yes.
Isn't he expanding?
One
you know what I mean? Yeah, this guy carries on like he thought he was on the low end or something. You know what I'm saying? We have to have expansion.
That's funny.
TATN. That's right.
Oh, Charlie Newman said, ask Myron.
That's what I thought about when that first happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to.
But I've always had cats. So like I said, my cats would have been like, I've been dreaming of this.
Jumping around, snatching them out of the air, playing with them. Like, oh, it's another one. Jump out and snatching it out there. You'd be like, uh-oh.
Because when we have birds fly by the window, they be like, so you can imagine if 1,500 of them came in.
Oh, my God.
Like they would have been in cat heaven.
They would have been jumping and catching birds
breaking
all
wings.
over the place.
Yeah, the birds would have got flown out of that door then. They wouldn't have had no, yeah. Fight or flight would have kicked in. Like, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, bro. So man. So yeah, man, we got pretty good topic going on today. Hold on a second here. It's my daily what do you call that? When you try to use technology and it screws you. It only happens during there we go. Only happens during showtime.
Yeah,
It's this what's that, Noop?
So we've got a very specific name for it, but if you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you might
Oh
find
yeah,
out
some
one day.
call it Murphy's Law, and others call it Booger McBooger Balls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, this guy just causes trouble every Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If Self Love and I move the show to Thursdays and Sundays, you'd have Booger, doing his thing. I mean, I can use my computer any given day. Now I got to do a whole hard reset of my iPhone. But Self, I could, who does that? Who needs to do a hard reset of their iPhone? Me. But Self, I can go a whole week, man. No problems with anything.
You already know how that goes.
Yeah. But what do you see next on that thing there?
Out there, we was a band out there. Enough of the appetizers out there.
I think we had a couple questions we were going to kick off for the chat. I think, like where did it start, or this is Hyper Femininity. I'm confusing it with tomorrow's show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes when we got that out there.
Well, this is actually going to be merged. Like, is this part of the code, tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to unpack some stuff.
Gotta ask that question.
We'll ask it. You know what I mean? I was talking to some people over the weekend. They were like, you and Self Love, you guys asked some serious questions on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, how can we expand if we ask what it is we need?
Facts.
To grow.
If everybody is scared to ask questions, in fact, we say question everything, don't we?
You better, at least in your mind first before you verbally do. Anything anyone tells you, got to question it first.
Production or Self, do me a favor. Text me the show card for today. I mean, literally, I can't get. Do you see why I use paper? This has been a thing with me my whole life, bro. Man, you know what I mean? Crazy. Yes, I'll go do a presentation and it won't be there. See, yeah. I'm clicking.
So I always
take a picture.
I save it into a different. I save it in a different place, a different app. That's the word I'm looking for. I save it in a different app, so that it's there in that app, and it's first up because that's all it is that in that file.
But why can't I get any of my text messages?
That's crazy.
So send me any text. I want to see if I get any text.
I sent that.
See, I didn't get.
This is crazy that we started late because of some crazy.
But you got it. So what's next on the what's next? You got it in front of you.
Yeah, what was literally next was we was about to get into it. It's the enough of the appetizers. Hold on, where the hell did it just go? Oh, there it is right here. Enough of the appetizers. Let's get into the main thing. Let's explore toxic masculinity. And we got a video that's coming up. And
okay, well, let's run that production. And then as I get my head out of my butt, and you know what I had to do, bro? I had to cut my Wi-Fi on.
Oh, yeah. That'll work.
That'll do it. So
I have a very special topic for you.
Go ahead and run it. Yeah, go ahead.
3 things that white women love. Love, love, love. Black men, and black men.
I don't think they are really interested in black men. I think they're just interested into what the physicalities and the physical attributes of black men.
You are picked apart of your characteristics, so they are fetishized in a way. I guess specifically white women, in most cases, wouldn't find me attractive because, you know, they wouldn't love like my blackness.
I had white skin, I'll be good for a relationship, probably not sex.
You must have, you know, a package. You must be over masculine in the regards of, you know, being able to take me and to ravish me. And I feel like in that regards, I feel that came kind of from like a sexual perspective of slavery, I would say. From a lot of the times you can see historically, you'll see a lot of the white women who were slave owners take the most masculine.
White men had more freedom to be more feminine or whatnot, whatever you want to call it, in their society because their society is more accepting.
With white men, you just have like in America at least, you only have like the base masculinity. That's like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. That brushes over for everyone. Whereas black men also have the hypermasculinity that's impressed onto them by black people themselves. As a white guy, it's abstract. If you're a black guy, it's weird. Mm-hmm. It's like you're outside of your lane. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a black man, and as a result, you're not masculine enough when that's not the reality.
The transatlantic slave.
Pause it. You can pause it right here. We'll pick back up on it.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with bucket.
I kind of wanted to lead into some things before this, so if you could stop that share. We're unpacking like what exactly what do they mean when they say toxic masculinity, and from my research, they're saying that it's cultural conditioning, you know, through, you know, Hollywood and different things for, you know, boys to win and be aggressive, you know, be physical, to be emotionally detached. And that's what they mean by toxic. You know, the more sexual partners you have, the better. When, you know, you look back on it, you know, well, that's not necessarily good. When, you know, when you look at, you know, STDs or the expense of, you know, making babies and everything else. Also, yeah, they're saying that it leads to feelings of loneliness and depression in up to 37% of male teens. So it's, supposedly this has been, you know, increasing the suicide rate. You know, as we're told, you know, be tough, suck it up, be strong, no pain. So then, you know, and then men are superior to women, you know, stronger. And so if we have a opinion that men are superior and stronger, then on the flip side of that, you know, you're thinking that women are inferior and weaker. I mean, it's an automatic thing. You know, it's like if you raise a pink child to believe that, you know, pink people are superior, then automatically, you know, it's going to stand to reason for that child that for that pink person to be superior, every other, you know, race, so-called race of human would be inferior. So now there's been some science, some data, some greater data, again, saying that hypermasculinity perpetuates sexual assault. And I want to throw that to you, Self, and reckless behavior. And then socialize boys that feminism is okay. But I want to start with they say hypermasculinity perpetuates sexual assault and reckless behavior?
Yeah. You know, I can see from the side, I don't really agree with that, but you know, if the more you get in your belt notch, the bigger you are, then, you know, could see somebody, you know, maybe pushing the limit when someone, you know, maybe they're saying that.
Oh, yeah, Self. I can see that. And then also not having the same respect.
Oh, yeah, they don't have it.
Right? Cheapening the whole, right. And then pushing the limit because you don't have the same respect and the whole thing's cheapened.
Facts.
Wow. Yeah, and in the chat, I would ask the chat the same thing. Do you feel that quote, hypermasculinity as it's been described could perpetuate sexual assault? And if so, how? The phone lines are open as well. If you want to unpack this, it's 424 900 6945. That number is 100%
troll free.
That's right. That's 424 900 6945. Standard rates and messages may apply, but do understand before you pull that trigger that trolls get what?
Holes around here, man.
That's right. Please limit your commentary to 59 seconds if and when you do call in. That's right. So, and then we're going to be dropping a link shortly if you want to pull up as well. And if you have something to add to this particular topic here. Now, next thing I wanted to talk to you about, Self, before they continue that video. They've been re-socializing boys. You know what? Let's save that. Let's see if there's anything in that chat. They said, I'm not a scientist. But we'll see. And then Minister Wakil L said, what it do, fam? What it do, fam? And then I'm the overseer said, hurt people, hurt people. That's facts. That's why we healthy people have to be out healing those hurt people and, you know, the unhurt people. We have to be out healing them as much as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
That's right. So, yeah, so let's go ahead, production. We're going to jump back into pick up where we were on that. These kids are talking some good stuff.
But bucking is basically when they took the biggest, strongest black man and raped him in front of everyone.
Black man, and as a result, you're not masculine enough when that's not the reality.
The transatlantic slave trade, they had this practice known as bucking. I don't know if you guys are familiar with bucking, but bucking is basically when they took the biggest, strongest black man and raped him in front of everybody else to demasculinize him. So there's huge issues with homosexuality within African American communities.
I didn't even want to get my ears pierced because I was like, nah, then people think you're gay.
Media, you know, just portrays black men as like these thugs, like super predators.
If I were to do something, if I were to commit an offense that like, I don't know, like a white person would do, I would feel like, yeah, especially in middle school, that I would probably be punished more because as well as doing this, I'm
middle
black,
school.
So I'm probably this, and this. Therefore,
So you start figuring it out.
to be taken and keep me in
Oh, I'm a nigga.
like that, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm stubborn. Don't get me wrong. I don't
This
listen
ain't
all the
just
time, but like the punishment does not
a
matter.
euphemism.
As a child, when I'm walking down the street, I would probably have my hood on, and I got stopped by the police. I was actually coming from work, and it was cold outside, so yeah, I'm gonna put my hood on. They stopped me and said because I was black, they had the right to check me.
So you gotta know your rights.
From behind a white person to make them feel more comfortable, I would whistle. Like, and I'd whistle like a tune like they would know.
Jingle your keys.
You know, something that they would recognize. So that they just be more comfortable so they won't be like going crazy or calling the police and stuff.
I've had the police calling me when I dress something and I be in a certain nice area, you know, where I live at, and then compared to what I'm dressed nice, and the officer might stop and talk to me. So yeah, it's a whole different element, and I think that's just about society and how they view black men.
See how we justify it, Cam?
You know, if I look good enough,
Stockholm
maybe
syndrome.
I'm just accepted right off the
About
bat because
ignorance.
That's the biggest barrier. That's that
It
acceptance.
is a lot
You know,
because
like, somebody who
you know if
sees
we
you and
put
they
hands
decide
on
whether or not
people,
they're above you or if you're on the same level as them.
what's going to happen to us? So
I'm
we've been taught that.
talking
That's
proper and
part of
professional.
the
I said by who standards,
conditions.
by white
yeah.
dominant culture standards. Why just because a person walks in with a T-shirt on and some tennis shoes on doesn't mean that they don't have. I've seen the people with that with a PhD. So I think that
So they walk around Hyde Park, the rich ones, have some Birkenstocks on and a pair of Levi's and a T-shirt.
That's what, and then with
Have more money in their trust fund than your whole family.
proceeds to take and dominate our culture, and then that's why I think we have a lot of issues in society.
At the time, I wish my family was white. I just wanted to be white. I understand why. I understand like how fucked up that was.
He wanted
like,
to be
I just
white.
Knew I'm like you know, I think my life would be better if I was white.
Yeah, he realized what the advantage was.
Very, very.
It's not that he didn't want to be black.
Better off if I was white.
Right.
I should be strong.
That's fucked up though.
Like, oh, but you're black, you know, you got good genes.
We have a tendency to self-hate because we've been taught
Love is honesty.
This is what you're allowed to be, and if a black person does something wrong, you know, you gotta hate him.
You could tell he got woke. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Love that young man. All right, we got William Banks said, I think we should respect each other as black people. I think we should teach our young men to respect black women. Hey, William Banks, yes. And tomorrow we have a whole show on what's up?
The code.
Yeah.
So we're gonna...
And we want you there because we're actually we have a framework of a code that we pull from different places, but you know, we're not gonna hang our hat on it. So we want all the silverbacks possible and silverback heads possible to input on this thing tomorrow. And then Self Love and I will keep revisiting that code show every now and then until we think we can come up with something that we can present to Silverdale, right, Self?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He says, every man has a right to protect and respect themselves. Facts. Charles Newman said, cultural conditioning is normal. Facts. We do not come into the world knowing how to conform to social norms. Conditioning dictates behavior that has arisen from social interactions. It is all learned behavior.
Facts.
Yeah. Facts. You know? Anything about those kids stuff? Anything that stood out to you that what those kids were saying? Well, I'll say this: the one that was talking about when you first start realizing you're black, you know, like around junior high.
It was the same one I was talking about. The bucking was the one talking about the bucking. He had a very interesting perspective. You know, it would have been cool to hear his part, all just him, because I know it was more than that.
Oh yeah, those were snippets. Yeah, those are snippets from each one of those interviews. Yeah, that was dope too. Like the kid who said, but he didn't just say he wished he was white. I wish my whole family was white. That's almost borderline. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about from the Chappelle Show. Biggins. Yeah, I don't just wish I'm white, Mama. I wish y'all was white too. You know what I mean? That's interesting.
That's funny. Well, I mean, he just was a child, and you know, it wasn't even about being white. It's about having that advantage and being able to be treated like that.
Yeah, but we were educated where I think I knew enough about Dr. King and Malcolm X where at that point, it wasn't that I wanted to be white. I wanted equity and justice. You know what I mean? But I mean, I know you're not defending them.
Right.
But I'm saying
we're a lot closer to that than he is. You know what I mean? You know, that's all euphemism to him. He don't, you know what I'm saying?
And it depends on where he grew up at. See, when you grew up in like Chicago, it's not like you really could ever really on the South side grow up wanting to really be white. There's nothing, right? No, I mean, but you might want some of the things they have, and you know,
if you know them, because a lot of people I know wasn't around no white people except for their teachers.
Correct.
So they did not want to be them. So,
correct. Right. Because then that says something about your own elders and something that, you know, how they're presenting themselves to the child as well, that'll make you just say, man, I don't even want to look like them.
And a lot of these teachers treated them like crap. So there's that. So they only experience with a white person was so-called white person was bad because they weren't trying to teach them. They weren't, you know, they was giving them the business instead of giving them education.
Facts.
Although I guess that was an education of sorts.
Well, what do you mean? How so?
Yeah, you got to learn that about how pink people act, and got to experience it, you know, and then come have that conversation with someone, and find out what was really going on.
Well, we want to stick to topic, and that's because a lot of this is going to come up tomorrow. Because I want to ask you, how do you prepare your child for such, man? Like how? I mean, I don't have kids, and I couldn't imagine. Like we talk about the sit down with talking about sex. The birds and the bees. Man, we got to talk about 12 and the thieves.
Yeah. And the murderers and
That's got to be a
liars.
devastating conversation that you're having with a child.
Murderers and liars.
Correct. But that you're telling the child that, you got to be 100% better and things are scales tipped against you and things in the world ain't right. You know what I mean? You're telling a child that who, how kids are, it should be fair.
You got to teach them that it ain't fair. And, you might have to be twice as good as your friend here. And that's just the truth of the matter.
Wow.
But, my children are cut from, they cut for that. So they're built for that. But every child needs someone in their corner that, let them know what's really going on. And you can't.
But yeah, because these kids today, you can't hide none of that from you can't hide the sex. You know how you wait till they was older? You can't hide the supremacy when you got 12 kneeing people down for 9 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're forcing these conversations upon people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it would almost be better for our community if somehow we could start having these conversations with our children before those conversations starts being had, before necessary, It'd be less traumatic when they come across it.
But to me, it's a thin line, though. Like,
between programming them to be niggas. I know. Right.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It is.
hard.
That's
hard. That's the hard part. Because when do you start having that conversation? Like,
and why do you have to have it? Right. Man.
It stunts some children. They become fearful.
Yes.
So it's like, when do you have this conversation is
right
integral. And man, the minds, came early, and when 45 got elected, I had to have the discussion with my children.
Your kids, yeah. But they were talking about,
because they forced the conversation. Really, let me know that it was time for the conversation. I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, man. But yeah, we gotta get back on topic, man. So the difference between toxic masculinity versus healthy masculinity. If we try to, unpack that. And so we kind of broke down, toxic, masculinity, and those kids that the video we just watched, they kind of went into like the slavery origins, which you were talking about. We're on a plantation, and they were suggesting that the pink lady would come out there and find the one that was the most well endowed and make him perform sexual, and then he got rewarded, for that. And then, like you said, the buck breaking, the strongest one in front of people, another trick they do, Self, and kind of on topic, they'll take cats, who are giving our communities hope. The modern way we buck break them is arrest them for something stupid or discredit them. It's a modern way that all of our heroes. Remember, we used to talk about that. Man, everybody that's famous of black end up in jail or end up with some everybody. OJ was just as nice. You never thought of him as a criminal. But everybody, right, just ends up, even Michael Jordan, they're doing it to him, ends up evil, all our heroes, Jay-Z, Barack Obama, everybody, bro, everybody, and that's a form of buck breaking. Our us, it's the modern day form, they take some of us who are giving each other hope, started a business, and then, they'll burn that business down.
Completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the insurance will say you did it. So you get nothing type thing.
And possibly catch that felony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only do you get nothing,
Yeah.
right? You know, yep, get a line prosecutor to come in there making up stories, and then they take your property, and that just happens. There's histories and history of that stuff that goes on, and I think it still goes on to today. I'd be naive to think anything else.
Yeah, well, let's say somebody got to own a property and get some charges and go to prison, and no one pays the taxes. You know what I mean? That property can be lost in 3 years time, just snatched.
Well, self-love for you and the chat. I didn't see any definition of healthy masculinity. I mean, I actually was researching and trying to see if someone had put this work in.
Well,
so if I was to talk to a young man, what would you say, Self? What would you define? I mean, don't try to win. Don't be too aggressive out there in the court. When you're in a locker room, I'm loading it up, but I'm being sarcastic. But no, but seriously, how do you? Because you got a young man. Like, what is healthy masculinity?
I mean, respecting yourself and others has to be at the top of it.
Okay.
It's got to be respect. And
okay.
The roles now seem to be changing. So,
Come on, Self. You gotta have more to say to a young black man when they say, what does it mean to be masculine? I know you're still talking. All right.
I'm saying that the roles have seemed to change, and what is masculine, it needs to go back to what it was, and
which is
protecting and providing.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, sir.
And being, enforcer when necessary.
Okay.
And loving and caring.
Yes. 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 In touch with your feelings.
Yes.
And see, and you almost hear in touch with your feminine side. See, that's when it becomes wrong, when it becomes toxic. No, it's just being in touch with your feelings.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a sociopath out there.
No, can't be. There's nothing healthy about that form of thinking and platform.
Self, I think you broke down and keep thinking on it if you got anything to add. And in the chat, if you guys want to help us out. Okay. The overseer said you have to balance your feelings. All right. Let's see. Brother Newman had a correction. He said hour, not outs. I must have read something wrong.
All right, for that. All of our definitions are subjective.
Okay.
Instead of out. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you guys, we got these glasses on that we probably both need to take off. Hard enough for me to see without them, but you know what I mean? These dark glasses. And so after the show, I'll be walking around like it's dark in here. Wifey be like, you need to take them damn glasses off. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I leave to go to the bathroom or whatever. I'll be like, oh.
Healthy masculinity, huh? So is that opening a door, holding a door for a woman?
I mean, that's being courteous. So, I mean, I don't see any problem with that.
I've been cussed out holding doors for women by feminists. Yeah, and that's what I tell them. I hold doors for men too. Like,
yes. So I don't worry about a small portion of the people.
The oddball, right.
Interactions like that. I don't worry about that. That's I'm being me, and that's what I'm, sticking, being a stickler about. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but if you take offense to my kind act or whatever, positive energy, then I don't have words for you. I don't have words for
I've
you.
I've got words for you, but that's the Mills bill. But I hear yourself. I've got words for you. Hell.
I hear you too. That makes perfect sense. You know what I mean?
Hey, Brother Mochi said, not sliding down the pole to dance with the devil. You better slide down that pole to get in a tow truck. What does he mean by that? What does that statement mean? Make some sense out of it for me, Self Love. You've known this guy longer than me. While you think on that, we're going to read the next one. There's... Please clarify, Brother Moultrie. All right, and then
that's the only explanation I got for that.
Yeah. And then we got William Banks said, "There's nothing more masculine than standing up for your rights and your respect." You know what? This guy's a stickler. You know what I mean? He wants people to silverback up. Yep. He does. He does. Stop this mumbling. Stop bending over and spreading their butt cheeks and taking it up the butt from society. Seriously, standing up for your rights.
I am not mad at all.
Mochi said he just got off a tow. LOL. All right. Thanks for your support, Brother Mochi. We're going to keep it going. And we need you tomorrow. We want to hear your conservative slant. I'll out him as a conservative. We want to hear your Republican slant for the code tomorrow, bro. Because seriously, all black men and silverbacks, you know what I mean? We need all of you guys. I mean, I imagine we'll need a tow truck company in Silverdale, right? So somebody's got to do that.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's facts.
Exactly. That's facts. So, we want to hear your opinion on the Code Show and also on this show, about femininity. So let me see here, Self. Black hypermasculinity. So we kind of broke down healthy. I like that. I like that definition you guys gave, especially Self. I thought that was very healthy definition of masculinity. I would say helping others, being charitable, right? Stepping up, when needed. Sticking to your word out there.
Oh man.
Yeah. Sticking to your word out there. So, if you, say you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah, it's done.
And then being, yes. I don't know if these are masculine traits though. See, that's where I get into my hyper toxic femininity, because I would raise my daughter the same way, but it's something about manhood. See, I'm old, but, you know what I'm saying, Self? Like being man enough to say no if you can't do it or if you don't want to do it. And then if you do say you're going to do it, you might have a sniffle or somebody else might ask you to do something that's more fun. But guess what? You're a man of your word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't sign up and say you want to be in a fraternity and pledge and then what? Drop.
Out there.
Yeah. And then you look at me and say I'm hyper masculine because I'm in the fraternity. And the women like me. See, that's the thing. But, we got to keep it 100. All right, here we go. And I would like to hear this from some women because they like to tell men, what it means to be, they're always out and about, telling men what manhood is, right? What manhood is. You hear that a lot from our women. You know what I mean? A real man, but a real man. You know what I mean? And a lot of them haven't even had a depiction of a real man because they grew up in a broken home and were raised by a broken home and were raised by a single mom. They go around espousing, what manhood is.
Yeah.
So, question: is the black male self-love becoming more feminine? Now let's unpack that. Now, just try to be as unbiased as possible. You saw the video at the top of the show when the men were coquette. Like they said, men started wearing heels and wigs and all of that. It's just a matter of, I think, fashion people could say, okay, that's feminine now. That's masculine now. That's feminine now. So some of that could just be fashion. But yeah, okay, I'll ask myself that. I'm not going to keep throwing you under the bus. Now,
I'm ready to answer. It's yes.
Go ahead, bro.
Yes. It's flat out the answer. It's been a program that they've been running. You know what I mean? God. We got our major athletes,
Hold on. Go ahead.
Wearing the same clothes, split screen with a model. I mean, on a runway. And it's split screen. They got the same outfit. There's television programming that's saying one of the major dudes that do everybody's image, and he was on one of those shows where they're making the band type of show, whatever which one it was, and he told them and the whole audience that fashion was finding the largest women clothes that you could find and put them on men.
That's the goal of fashion. That seems to make sense. Now, Brother Newman, some of those traits we were talking about, he said he thinks those are human traits, not gender traits. And I think so too, Brother Newman, like keeping your word. And
Agreed.
it should be. It definitely should be. But we're always held to that standard. You know that, Brother Newman, as a man, and we're actually held to those standards as women. And then we say things like it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. You know what I mean? What? So wait a minute. It's like 12. That's like 12. They can say and do whatever they want, change their mind, right? And it's their prerogative. That's like 12.
They can lie to you all day. Well, 12 can.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. You can have plans. I changed my mind. I don't want to go there. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. I would agree with that. So, but I'm self-love.
Well,
now,
not all of them. Provide, protect, provide, protect, I mean, be enforcer when necessary. I think those are masculine traits, not, I mean, a lot of them, or what we said, yes.
They overlap,
Yes.
but you're
Yes.
saying the principle.
Yeah.
Yes. It's both parents' job to do all of that where you said, but yes,
Yeah.
they overlap. Yeah. But you want that man to be doing that, almost like in the Wild Kingdom with the lions. You know what I mean? It's a lion's job to protect those women and kids from those other male lions. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the hyenas and whoever, what I mean?
Right.
You
Right.
come
The bigger
around
one.
there,
Yes.
handle that business.
Yes. So, and then to your point about the femininity of our men, we have videos, but where the men are kind of like me, but the black women are like, yeah, some of them like it. You know what I mean? Yes, they think it's cute, but the black
Conditioning
women will say
programming,
flat out,
bro.
yeah, they'll say flat out the men are getting more feminine, and yeah. But now, is this just black men, or is that just we're just talking about that because we're black first and that's all we care about? Are men in general? I don't see white men wearing pink cowboy suits doing country music, and I mean, you used to see Elton John doing some things here and there. But do you see feminization of white men? I think it's the opposite. I think white men used to be feminized, and now they're being masculinized.
Yeah, it's a lot of it programming, man. They programming us that it's cool and good. So we're off to the races with it. And
But yeah, we're gonna unpack this. I'm gonna save some of this for the second half because I know y'all think I'm not gonna talk about it, but I am. I just like to get a little more sage going, and we'll get some receipts. We have some videos playing, and hear more from the chat. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm not pigeonholed as some sort of jackass. You know what I mean? Because I'm a silverback. Speaking truths to our community. Right?
Agreed.
If you are naturally, or whatever it is, that's your choice. God bless you. We love you and everything. And you're going to see the other opinion. You're going to see this later. It's going to be my stance. And that's why I'm not going to really say it, because someone eloquently laid down my stance, and it's not a cop out. It was my stance, and they laid it out eloquently, a way that I could never do it. So I'm going to, we're going to get to it later. But it's okay. But if there's a science and a cabal and a directive to make black men feminine, that's not okay. Right?
Not at all.
If you're naturally, and yes, but yeah, exactly. So if you're telling me that, X percentage of black men would be more feminine in a natural situation, and then now we're looking at a situation where through programming and through science, hormones, et cetera, some have said what you call that, inoculate, stuff I don't want to talk
Vaccines.
about for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
algorithm. Yes. But some will say that has, led to more man boobs and stuff like that going on. And you hear a lot of men with the light sounding voices. Don't you hear a lot of that? They're
Man.
singing and yeah.
I saw something. It was
Like somebody's
about
just squeezing their balls out of
baby formula.
Mm.
I need to probably look that up so we can.
Bro, we had a whole long
conversation.
conversation about that. Me and I'm the overseer up in his man cave about that, bro. And we're gonna do a show on that. The benefits of breastfeeding versus
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on our Black Health series, Self Love. That has to be done, bro.
Absolutely.
And then we'll try to unpack it with some females who've actually done it. That way it can be lessons, not lectures.
Yes.
Yeah. Get them on the panel and talk about that and the benefits and how their children act as opposed to some of the other children and how healthy they are. But we got to stay on topic. So, but to answer you, I agree with you, Self. The black male is becoming way more feminine, and I will say this: I think the black male is being more feminized at a higher rate than any other race, except maybe the Asian male. Yeah, and the Hispanic male is getting feminized too. But we got gangsterized and then we get feminized. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about. Is the gangsterized better than the feminized? And that's the question we want to ask everybody. And don't answer it yet, Self. And for the chat, you guys can feel free to start having at it. I mean, the feminized is probably best for our community. If people aren't going to be going around selling poison and shooting everybody and man, but you know what's going to happen. White supremacy is diabolical. You're just going to have people run around in pink dresses, robbing and killing people. But go ahead, Sal.
I was going to say that the problem is some of that is already slid into that. So
correct.
Because
the poverty don't stop.
Well, that doesn't. No. But
right.
What happens is they've got so-called confessed thugs.
Yeah.
That are rappers or whatever.
Effeminate.
Wearing dresses on their album cover.
Can we say effeminate? I think we can say effeminate.
Wearing dresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's making it like
skirts.
It's cool for thugs to be wearing a dress. Like it's just facts, man. They've it's been pushed for a minute. This ain't no just came out the blue.
I tell you what though, bro. Let's go back to William Banks. There's nothing more masculine than standing up for your rights and respect. Again, if I have to choose between Pookie shooting and selling poison and not standing up for rights and respect, they're standing up for rights, but it's just other rights, as opposed to the effeminate, standing up for rights. If they were to be standing up for rights and challenging 12, if I had to choose, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this for you. But you know what I'm saying, bro? Like I think it comes down. Yeah, we're one community, and oh man, this is tough to unpack. This is really, 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 really tough for me to unpack. Seems easier for you cats, but let's see here. Let me go to where we're at. Is the black male becoming more feminine? We both agree yes. All right, so Self, we do have a feminization of black men. It's from El Gyra Films. And before you hit play, the first video we ran, because it was Black Hyper Masculinity, and I didn't put the name, but this one is feminization of black man. It's from El Gyra Films on YouTube, so big ups.
You could do what you want me, pop like we do, like to lock like we do. As deep as songs, live your life, win. How you start it, you gotta have niggas in my shit. Move, give a nigga room, back it up. It's a grown man making on, touch you down similar to Smookinator, Smokey sister, in around. Not a spread love, no love when you. You could do what you want me, pop like we do, like to lock like we do.
I haven't been living that long, but I mean, I honestly don't think it's changed at all. I think it's been the same as far as I've been living for 22 years. So.
Yes, because you can find a single father now more than you can find a single mother. And you can also see staying home fathers than staying home mothers. Yeah.
I think like basically like back then like men and women weren't on like the same page about stuff. I mean, life was very different from women than it was for men. I mean, women mostly didn't like necessarily have choices that they had to do, and men did. But I think now that it's changed, both of them are like equal.
I definitely think women are being more hands-on and proactive, opposed to before where they were very submissive and passive. So I think women are kind of like dominating the community and taking charge. Because as you see, like a lot of like community-based facilities, like foster cares and healthcare facilities, are run by women.
Yeah.
You could do what you want me pop.
Dominate. See that word choice? Dominate.
Yes, definitely. I mean, they're getting stronger and stronger every day.
Like, can you give an example?
I'm trying to think if he's a
I mean,
simp.
like black women, they don't take
borderline
crap from
simp.
nobody. I mean, they do speak their mind, they do stand up
Oh, he
for what's
laid it
right,
on.
and they don't give up. They keep going and going and going. And
All they think is nothing borderline about
like
it.
bring a new generation, like small children, like they inspire them to do what's right. They don't teach them wrong. They don't teach them, oh, this happened, that happened, you shouldn't do this. They tell them for a right reason instead of like the wrong reason. More African American look up to women because they give good advice. They also do bring peace.
I can believe that a little bit.
Oh, he simped it all
I
up.
think a lot nowadays.
He was raised by
girls are
all
taking
women.
more of a lead role in relationships.
Somebody would have beat his ass at the YMCA
A
just
lot of girls
because.
fighting a lot more over their man.
You know they would. This one.
Trying to think what else I can think about that.
He's all right. He'd have made it.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think this world is driven by women.
Yeah, he gave it some thought.
A lot of dudes I think are softening up a little bit nowadays, but
Right.
it's a woman's world. I mean, a woman can really get anything she wants, in my opinion.
It's good to see him though. He ain't all softened up. You see that?
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
I don't think black men are becoming more feminine, but I think black women are just taking over. So maybe
You see, it's a whole
black men are just being left in the
competition thing
shadows
between
now
us and
because,
our
women
women
are shining, so.
taking over.
And it's
Yes,
delusion.
in a way. They spend more time getting ready. They spend more time in what they.
But you're
put
not
in
taking
themselves.
over.
So I would say yeah.
You're stepping up. It's called stepping up within the community. It's not called taking over. It's that
That's gonna be
mindset.
tough. I mean, women in top positions. I mean, I'd love to see it personally, but
We're gonna unpack
as
this
far
though,
as
so when we do the Willie
being a
Lynch.
man's world, I think as far as when it comes to business and all of that, I don't think it's gonna change for a while. But I mean, I'd love
My
to see it
gloves gonna be
personally.
off.
There's not gonna be really a gender role. It's gonna be all equal. I would say so. Equality, something like that.
Equality.
How it's more
She with
single
the cabal.
fathers and stuff now. I think it'll
Equality.
be more equal. Like
Said it
the
right.
woman's not gonna have to come home and cook. It would be today I'll cook, tomorrow you cook, something like that. Okay. I think this is good, just not only for black women and black men, but for the black community in general. People see us in a different light and not just see us with the stereotypical we don't do anything or don't have an education. Especially when, women always get chastised. And the fact that black women are, empowering now and really making an impact in the community is a big help for future generations.
Black women mostly will try. Well, I don't think they do because they do
honestly
make it
think
right.
they're making these babies on
They
their
don't
own.
go
So
around saying he or she did that because women like that is setting a bad example for good women all around the world.
look at the sun.
And I'd say like all the women are strong in their own ways, and
Get 'em on the
especially
show.
the women you hear about
All the women are
who
strong.
never knows how to stand up for themselves, who has been in an
I
abusive
guarantee you ain't had a
relationship.
girlfriend
They have their
5
deep down
years.
inner strength in them, and it's like may take them a while to really figure it out.
And it's a female
But
interviewing
They
them.
also have men to depend on, men who's on their side, not really against them. So though I think like the black generation is still learning. We still have a lot to learn.
You have a lot to learn, my man.
Man.
As deep as songs, hope your life win. How you start, kid, you gotta have niggas in.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Man. Yeah, my man
Yeah,
in the
the
blue, boy. Whew.
Is it? You said he's a simp?
Absolutely,
Well,
I would. I mean, and I don't.
well, no, we don't know
I
him
don't want to. I
personally
don't
and
want
what's
to.
in his
Yeah,
heart.
I don't
But
know him
he
or
was carrying on
anything.
like a simp. We'll say that. Yeah, because we vibrate
Yeah.
love. We don't name call here.
Yeah.
But he was carrying on like a simp. Can we say that?
He was carrying on like he was, raised by all women. He was only around women, really. That's
And
the
he
way
was raised by all great women too.
Yeah.
I mean, great ones.
Right.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
of them.
That's
Wow.
what it sounds like.
All right, and it's possible. I mean, it's very possible.
It is.
And then all the men were what that he's ever come across? God
Absent.
awful.
It was absent, obviously.
Yeah, I would
'cause
say
we
absent.
don't
Yeah,
have,
they
you
had
don't
to
have
be.
any information or
Yeah,
indication.
they had to be
didn't,
absent.
He didn't talk about men.
Yeah,
He
they had
talked
to be
about
absent.
women.
Yeah, they had to be absent. And just like in that video at the beginning, they said that powder blue, like he really had on, they
Mhm.
said blue used to be women's colors, and pink used to be what men wore. It's just
Yeah.
diabolical that some jackass would decide to, what I mean, it's pretty diabolical. Brother Newman said femininity is a concept just as masculinity, and this is the mind, the thought experiment. What he's saying.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm sorry, you guys. These concepts come from societal norms. Norms start from a small group and spread through propaganda and strengthened with social interactions of those with the same mindset. Yeah, like-minded people get together, decide
Programming.
what their code is or whatever.
Conditioning.
Well, what their standard is.
Yeah, and program it and condition it to everybody in the
And raise the kids
process.
and raise the kids with the standard.
Right.
And then at some point, there's some alternate programming that's going to program the kids with another standard. And the question is, who should be programming standards for one's kids? Or should anyone be programming standards? I think it's a parent's job to program standards if there's going to be any programming of standards going on. And our standards should have been coming from our ancestors, right?
You're factual.
But we tend to discount our ancestors' standards, right? And then we'll follow what? Societal standards.
Yeah. And since all those little people have one of these and stuff now, they have a different route. They don't have to get all the information from their parents. Like we got most
the little
of our
ones in China
information.
don't get. The little ones in China can't get all the information your little ones can get.
Yeah,
no. The little ones in big China don't allow Nike to push Satan shoes and stuff like that. If they don't, you know what I'm trying to say. They don't care about religion because they're communists, but you know what I'm saying. They don't allow certain types of programming.
They don't allow
only their
anything from
program.
here. Right. They don't allow
Correct.
any of our programming. They don't.
Right.
They
Right.
have a problem accessing our internet.
Yes.
So
yes, and if they get caught, hacking it and having access to it, it's like a major crime there.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question. It's fair to ask. Are our women, black women, because they're not our women, that's a toxic masculine term I've come to realize. Are black women becoming more, if effeminate, emasculine? Are they becoming more masculine?
if you're asking me, yes. I'm seeing a change.
You know what's up? Can you look up the word masculine? But go ahead. You've seen a change in the. Let's find it there. Let's define these terms before we back ourselves into a trick bag.
All right.
Yeah, because how are these terms being defined these days, man?
The fact that they changed is
Everything.
man.
Hell, I used to not be confused. You know what I mean? Masculine.
Oh wow, that's nothing. Having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men.
It says a cop-out definition.
Yeah.
But it is what the definition is, right? And that's what Brother Newman was saying. Traditionally, right?
Of
Right.
or denoting a gender of nouns and adjectives conventionally regarded as male. I mean, this is all this.
Okay, so
get it
Self, if football, if American football was traditionally regarded as a male experience, then a woman playing American football is exhibiting masculine trait. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so tough because you got to be so politically correct. That's why I asked you to look it up. And that's how it's defined. So if we go by that definition, traditionally done by men, back to the question, are black women becoming more masculine, meaning taking on more roles and living in such a fashion that have been, smoking cigars, pulling up, hollering at hot chicks, going on the internet, on Tinder, and having multiple hot chicks that they date, right? And having hot chicks fight over them. Is this going on? Now, if so, why?
It seemed to be a lot that they have choice, and a lot of it comes from the fact that they say they don't need a man, and it's because of some something the government becomes their man, and they don't need a man, and they taking care of their house and doing this or that.
Okay, no, I hate to cut you off because that spirit's telling me this. Okay, Self. So all right. Let's say in a scenario, when the male, in a split household, and there's a whole lot more of that now than a long time, where the male is actually raising a child, right, and the mom is doing whatever, right, raising both the whole family, all the physical, and the mom isn't even in the household, right?
Yeah.
And they don't pay child support typically. People don't run around and say, they ain't shit, all the time. Just, it's a respectful thing, how they talk about their baby mamas usually. But I'm gonna ask you this. You don't do so now that the man is doing all of these feminine things, why doesn't the man start, and girl, I breastfed today. You know what I'm trying to say? And since now I'm doing things that are traditionally that a woman does, right? Making dinner. There's certain feminine qualities, and are these feminine qualities, the this and that, or is that, back to our thought experiment, is that just something that everybody learned over time? And it's really, really weird. So in other words, the women who act quote unquote manly because they're doing everything, does a man act more feminine because he's raising the kids now? Does he put on a dress?
I don't think that. I think the
women put on pants when they got a job. But go ahead, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
More masculine women are, I think they're as in general more masculine as a group, and they are raising more feminine boys. I think it's not as many men involved.
Wait a minute. Are you saying masculine-minded women tend to raise effeminate boys?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, I never thought about that. But
because
yeah,
they give them the world. They give them the world. So they expect everything
Don't make them work
from a
for
woman.
nothing.
They expect everything to come from a woman.
Well, they unpacked that in Baby Boy, didn't they? In the Baby Boy movie.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah. You don't wait. Well, big ups, BlacK producing.
Right.
Blah blah.
I didn't
blah.
watch it as
but you didn't miss
like
much.
that.
Yeah. Big ups, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was the messaging in that. That was the whole thing behind that Baby Boy thing. That's my baby boy, and always baby boying us. And right. And then he grows up, and he's like you just said, he's dependent on women, and then all of a sudden, get out. You need to get out, and all that kind of stuff. But I've been doing this my whole existence. Right.
Man.
I've always sucked on the teat of a woman for everything I've gotten.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, that's, man. Wow. Yeah. All right. We unpacked something there because I never would have, reached that conclusion on my own. All right. Let's see. So we did that. Okay. Let's run a quick video. It's from Fora TV, FORA TV. It's only a minute and 40 seconds, y'all, and it's entitled "We're Losing Alpha Males." What is an alpha male? It has to be natural because there's alpha males in every,
species.
Yes. So if they said the alpha males be making
As a
all the
man,
babies.
if I have high estrogen, the female hormone, and I have low testosterone, then I'll have a heart attack. And this is proven. High estrogen in men. The average male today has half the testosterone that he had as a young man at 50 years old. I'm
Why?
61 and mine's 25% higher.
Why?
This is in indigenous cultures, men's testosterone levels do not go down. In our culture, they do. For a variety of reasons I explain in the book. But estrogen levels are higher in men. Men are being feminized. The last thing you want is a feminized male. What you want is a man who's learned to be a better man, alpha male, who can also take care of his children, be with his wife, be with his family, healthy testosterone levels. Because it's only when men's testosterone goes down that men become grumpy, irritable, rigid, impatient, exclusive, meaning we got to do this, we can't look at anything else.
White
All these are
supremacy knows
symptoms
this.
of stress in a man, and stress in a man is always low testosterone. For women, stress in a woman is always low oxytocin. One is one of the major oxytocin producers when a woman feels heard, when a woman feels considered, when a woman feels part of a team, when a woman feels she's contributing. All of that is going to increase her oxytocin level. It's a few small changes sometimes. That's the bottom line.
He's a PhD. He was doing science. He wrote that book, Men Are From Venus and Women Are From Mars. I never read that. You ever read that, Self Love?
Nah.
Omni Overseer said, let's see. Charles Newman said those with the same mindset. Oh, we did that. But Omni Overseer said we're using their terms to define who we are. I don't know if that was a statement or a question. And then he said, yes, the women are doing all of that. Going back to when we were saying, if it's hyper or toxic masculinity, we have women that are toxic. More, it's weird. It's just weird, but it's okay when they do it because they're a woman.
Man, it's crazy.
Right? Oh boy, you better not come across the wrong silverback with that mentality. Oh boy, I got my Mills bill ready to roll. All right, and then we got. If anybody doesn't know, the Mills bill is the right for any American citizen to give a big wazoo and a FU to anyone. It doesn't matter if it's up the chain, below the chain. Your boss wouldn't be able to fire you. See, that's what the Mills bill was about, Self, which was different from freedom of speech. You know what I mean? No one would be able to hold that against you in any shape or fashion. They can tell you to go back to your desk or whatever. They can say F you back, but they can't use that against you because that should be your right. Somebody comes and says something out the side of their neck or reckless, right? I mean, Jesus, it would stop a lot of fights, All right. I'd be teaching the kids that in kindergarten so they can know how to accept, I may have. So if you hit me with the Mills bill, pardon me, sir. You know what I mean? Well, did I say something to offend you? You know what I mean? And we could unpack it. I'm diagnosing. Omni said, we are not losing alpha males. More feminine guys are coming out. Bro, they said that in the wild, alpha males produce like 95% of the babies. And they're only 5% of the wild. Yeah. 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 That's just interesting. All right. Let's see where we're at here. You guys make sure you like, share, subscribe, right, Self Love?
Yeah, absolutely. It's of the utmost importance so we can spread. I need you. Hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I need you to share with a like mind.
And how much does that cost?
It's absolutely free 99. Don't cost you a dime.
Facts. Free 99. Won't cost you one penance or one dime.
Yes, sir. Y'all can see we the halftime. Y'all know how it goes. We've been having a great show about toxic masculinity versus hyper feminization in Black community, and we're gonna break it down some more in the second half. That's for certain. And we got a couple videos for your entertainment. Be edutained.
That's right. Halftime.
I shit call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? This what y'all wanted me in Chicago? O block right here. I shit call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, blood?
O block right now. Where we at? Tell you something, man. This Nino Brown, man. I'm live on O block right now. Where we at? This O block. I'm from Miami. I just want to tell niggas, man, we gotta stop killing each other, man. Yeah, this shit ain't about nothing. All that killing shit, we gotta work together, man. Stop killing each other, my nigga. I had to come over here and tell niggas that shit, my nigga.
I'm right here. See where I'm at. I'm out here. Black Star Line cigars. For grown men. On some grown man stuff. And to the PDs, stop doing that killing. Please, stop doing that killing.
Hey, y'all check out Mouthpiece Included Thursday, Sports Chat. We'll talk about fashion, high fashion, and athletes. Why we don't support Black fashion companies. Why we always find a reason. Kanye crazy. That's out of style. Gucci never goes out of style.
Support Black. I think it's time for us to have these conversations and really take our community and our culture to a whole nother level. So I support you, bro. And you don't have to gift it to me. I'm buying.
That's cool.
Don't send me nothing.
Get one of me,
Don't send me nothing.
Get one of me, Chief. That's the real superstar, man. We gotta check.
But hold on. Even that, like that's big, right? We talk about entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Like you can easily gift me this, and this I'm going somewhere with this, and it's big. I want to get y'all thoughts on this. I need to support you. You got a team behind you. You got an operation. You putting people on. Don't gift me nothing. Send me the bill.
Listen. You know I respect that. It's because when people buy Black, they always go to the register.
That's in the code, so
man,
pay a fair price.
When you go to Gucci, Louis, or Prada, do you say that?
Ain't no discount.
So what gives you the right to say that to that business owner or that business that needs the money when you making the rich richer? So yeah, for me and for my New Year's resolution, I promise I made a vow to myself, I'm not gonna buy any high fashion. I'm gonna buy Black, I'm gonna buy in my community as much as I possibly can, right? Realistic and hold people accountable to that. I thrift store shop, and there's some dope stuff there.
You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, I'm saying this as I'm rocking Ralph Lauren right now. But that's just how we're institutionalized, sort of speak. But yet, it's a lot of people that don't know, that do not know, how to, in our culture.
What are we supposed to do, bro? Like, how do we support, you know what I mean, those young entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs that's trying to make it? Give me the blueprint. What are we supposed to do?
It starts.
Stand up strong.
I can't tell you that, but I can tell you have to change your mentality, and you can't be a crab with intel, right?
What do you mean?
You can't if you know, teach.
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the black community, for real.
Yeah.
Like, people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Thanks. Hey, well, bro.
They so ignorant.
Ignorant. Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Can you define black male masculinity, and what does that look like?
Yes. Because we know that the feminist movement, the white feminist movement.
We are back.
We're back. Man, I love this joint. Man, this is my joint. Trey, if you fool for this one, bro. You kill it. Welcome back to the Self Love Show. We are breaking down toxic masculinity versus hyper feminization in the black community. And it's a beautiful situation. We've been unpacking some great information, and everything's been going fine.
I'ma be the one. Woo! I'ma be the one when I'm done. Woo. Higher if I made it this far. Anywhere. Yes, sir. Hey, we can go anywhere. So like Self Love said, we unpacking this. The second half, we're gonna jump into it. We want to talk about why, what makes people say that black men are being targeted for feminization. Like, why? What chestnut checkers? What would be the benefit of white supremacy, of having a bunch of effeminate black men? And then so we're going to unpack that, and then also in the converse of that, what's the benefit of making women more masculine? So we do want to break that down. So self-love, from what you hear, we've been hearing this forever. I'd definitely say mid 80s when I started hearing it, maybe even late 80s, where the older silverbacks and the Nation of Islam or different people who were paying attention would start talking about the feminization of the black man. Would you say that's a good time frame when you start looking at things start seeming softer, sweeter?
To me, it seems like it got same time period, but to me, it's a little really at the end of the 80s, really early 90s.
Where it seemed targeted?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you started hearing, well, and I didn't hear a lot of the stuff then, you know what I mean? I did hear it some then, but now older doing research and looking at situations, that's when a lot of them said it really, they were really targeting us hard. And, you know, it was people saying that, you know, your favorite rapper is going to be wearing a dress.
Yeah.
And this, you know, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it just came, well, not my favorite rapper, but, you know, he was just saying in general.
Yeah. And so is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that our favorite rapper is wearing a dress as opposed to having a gun? I'd just say that white supremacy is so diabolical that they're going to have your kid in a dress and what?
Having a gun. That's what I was saying. They having these so-called thugs wearing dresses on their, you know.
Yeah, you're still going to end up in prison or whatever. You're going to be in there sweet on the yard, so to speak, you know, as far as white supremacy is concerned. You know, it's not a good look for, you know, that's as far as what some people may think. But so what would be the benefits of doing that? Is it just because, you know, to each his own? Like if somebody wants to walk around in a dress, right, Self? I mean, is that an embarrassment to you to see a black man in a dress? Is that an embarrassment to you as a black man? I mean, at this point, you know, I've had to dig deep on this, and I'd have to say no, but is that would you say that that's a viable reason why for what am I looking for? Changing the image of black men because we were seen as strong and bold.
Yeah, and animalistic and out of control, and now they are pushing the images of us in dresses and us being you know,
tamed.
Yeah, you know, complete pink outfits and which, you know, ain't no thing, but that's the image of black man that they're putting out there. They're not putting alternative image to that. They're pushing this image. You know,
bro, they said Lil Nas X, when he was on the Grammys and he wore that pink suit, they said that he was on the red carpet and got interviewed longer than anybody, by far longer than anybody. Yeah. I told my wife I got to go watch it because I got to see for the life of me. I'm sure he's intelligent, but what were they talking? What was so important? What were they talking about to keep him on? Yes, hour and 14 minutes, bro. Yeah, hour and 14 minutes. So I am going to go back and watch that. So he's just sitting there on the red carpet. The whole world's watching. You know what I mean? Man, I don't think Pac ever got an hour 14 minutes.
I think they said that was the longest ever.
And then would that have been any good? You know, because we're talking about images. Well, Pac, you know, like this gangster image. I'm also heard I was a podcaster. I may have his video for the end, but when are we going? Well, we'll save that. But I do want to ask you guys, when are we going to start controlling our image? You know, as black men. You know,
that's part of the Self Luv Show.
Facts. It's the whole point of the Self Luv Show. You're right. You know, you're right. It's exactly the whole point of the Self Luv Show. Facts. Now, we kind of touched on that, but do you think, moreover, that it's all men in America are becoming more feminine? And then it's just a higher rate for black men, or are all men becoming more feminine at the same rate? This is tough to say, but, you know, what are you feeling?
I think we're targeted more, but I think it's an overflow as an effect because they're using the media and how they're using the media, that it's an overflow to some other, you know, because
so we're the trendsetter. So if you can put a black man in a dress, then you can eventually have a little pink or a white kid in a dress.
Yeah. Wow. They put a lot of the actors in dresses too. So, and it's for a reason, you know what I mean? Especially the strong, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's always, yeah. It's always the toxic masculine one. Yes. They'll set his image up as toxic masculinity. And yeah, like you said, Hollywood does it, but they love to say it's just the NFL players, the NBA players, and the rappers that are toxic masculine. But yeah. I mean, Donald Trump. Talk about, if there's such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long line. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, even Ace said it on our show on Mouthpiece, talking about Deshaun and Big Ben, that, it's a society where everything's hypersexualized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great show, by the way, on Thursdays, 9 Central.
Yeah. 1 hour. Hour and 20 minutes it usually runs, but yeah.
Great conversations. Promise
you. Yeah. So we want to talk about the hormone self. I know you do a lot of studying up on that, the biochemical component, the science. I hate to go in here and sound like, Hitler or, some jackass. But what do you know about the science? Have they looked at, like, for instance, a homosexual male and said, well, this guy has more estrogen? Like, has this been proven, or is it always just psychological? What do you know about the science?
Not a whole lot about the science per se. I know a lot that's been said. They say that.
Well, you want to run? Well, no, go ahead, bro.
They say that there's something to soy that produces estrogen in humans.
Yes.
So, and they put soy in probably 60-70% of the food products. 90% of the food products have corn and soy. So,
and if you over estrogenize beef or whatever, and then we eat it, they're still getting that into the male body and vice versa.
Yeah. Yes. The diet is very important. And
all I'm saying is I started seeing a lot more man boobs, Self. That generation right behind us. They're like 10 years younger than us. I see a lot of man boobs, and we didn't have man boobs like that. That was such a rarity that whenever you saw man boobs, you went up there, you tried to squeeze them, tried to convince your guy, put a bra on. We want to see it. Like family, put a bra on. Come on. Got those man boobs you're walking around. But no, I'm just saying, they were so rare now, bro. Man boobs are a dime a dozen.
Hey, since we were youngsters,
we just missed a lot of stuff, though. Go ahead, bro.
Promoting the soy, the formula, and women don't destroy your body, and this and that, trying to disconnect our community further.
Yes, and the what do you call that stuff? The vaccinations.
It ain't
vaccinations went crazy right after us. Yeah. We just missed a lot of that stuff. That chemical cocktail that they put on we got it though through the food and grocery stores and stuff, but not like
not all of the
direct into your.
We did get vaccinations too, but they weren't the same.
Bro, I think I might have had 4 shots. It wasn't like 40, 60 or 80. They were vaccinated. That was crazy.
And then every few years, what the.
Right, we just had like polio, mumps, measles. It was just the measures. They weren't just vaccinating for everything. So I want to. It's a 7-minute video. Let's see here. The things we eat is causing childhood obesity. Facts. He said, I'm the overseer. Said the things we eat cause childhood obesity. Yes, facts. And adult obesity.
Yeah, everything is got all this high fructose corn syrup, which is just, a major cause of obesity.
Don't eat processed food, people. You're just eating sugar and salt.
Period.
Yeah. Go to the store, buy it, cook it. So and this one's gonna be it's a one by Wesley Muhammad. It's the chemical feminization of black man. It's a 7-minute video, and it's that brother. Hey, he's Nation of Islam because he always talks about Farrakhan.
He is 100%.
Yeah.
He'd be on the circuit talking.
Yeah. He's got his own YouTube channel, bro. He's got a nice little following, man.
No doubt. He does debates and all that stuff. He's been on Sonetta debates and stuff. You know,
I think
quite a few times.
I think he's gonna be the next. Watch, it ain't gonna be your boy. What's the one we like, Rizza Islam? It ain't gonna be him.
Yeah, he's much younger than.
Yeah,
dude been at it for a while. Wow.
Yeah, he's younger and he had more of that battery of what we're talking about. All that effeminate, vaccinations and the this and that. I'm serious, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he had man boobs. And big ups to. I'm not, I'm just saying, bro. He was raised in it. He knows the science.
Can you
Big ups to
define
him.
black male masculinity? Then what does that?
She's
look
gonna
like?
have a Freudian slip. Watch, bro.
Because we know that the feminist movement.
She got so
the
mad
white
she
feminist
outed herself.
movement, who hates their man, the white man, because the white man hates his woman, the white woman. That's the origin of the feminist movement. This real drag out fight between the white man and a white woman. It is feminist myth that masculinity and femininity are social or sociological constructs.
Yeah, he's
That's
next
a
up.
myth. That's a lie. Masculinity and femininity are biochemically rooted. There is a biochemical profile of masculinity. There's a biochemical profile of femininity.
That's what I
And
learned.
because we know that, and American scientists have known that since for certain
that in school.
and how to manipulate that biochemistry since at least the 80s.
Yep.
UCLA scientists did critical and devilish work in that regard, identifying the biochemical profile of masculinity, the biochemical profile of femininity.
He was doing it on
and
the farms.
identifying, mastering the ways of manipulating that biochemistry. So what is masculinity? What is the biochemical profile of masculinity? The requisite amount of the masculinizing or male hormone testosterone, the power hormone, not libido hormone, and the requisite amount of the feminizing hormone, estrogen, but with that, the right amount of serotonin, the right amount of noradrenaline. The male in its natural state has those biochemicals in a different proportion than a female. And
This
you
is science,
can
people.
produce, so
He's just not white.
Facebook has 72, I believe, options for gender. Facebook recognizes, I think, 72 types of gender. God is not the author of confusion.
72
God
genders.
is the author of peace.
What
so
the-
when we talk about people living their truth, well, if there's 72 gender
72
truths,
genders.
that's not God's doing. Satan is able to manipulate the biochemistry of male and female and produce a whole spectrum,
I would pull my kids
causing
out
a
of school.
lot of confusion.
They came home and said it's 72
So how
genders.
would you respond to the people who would say your rhetoric and your argument support things such as the gay and trans panic defense, which is legal in 47 states, in which basically if a perpetrator, if someone commits a crime against someone who identifies as an LGBTQ person and says that they felt like this person was coming on to them, within 47 states that is a legal defense, right? So NBC News
These are
said
those
that
oddball cases, Self, that you said you don't pay attention to,
13.4 of the population,
that always get thrown
but we
out in
represent
front to distract you and change the
28%
narrative.
of hate crimes, of victims of hate crimes. With that being said, our black LGBTQ people are adversely impacted when it comes to that. So
He
they're going to
handled
have
it
even
well.
higher numbers than our heterosexual black LGBT or black individuals. So how do you respond to people who are saying, who would see what you just said and say like, this is the reason why we've got these crimes going on and this is problematic?
Well, I would say to those persons that I do wish they would listen to us.
They don't listen.
Listen to the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. Don't hear what viscerally impacts you and then leave.
Love the way
Turn us off. Because if such persons were patient with us, if you listen to the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, you would know that we, the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, we are as adamant against any violence or any discrimination against our LGBTQ family as you are, because we take God's position on homosexuality. God does not approve of that lifestyle, and we who are trying to be pleased with God and pleasing to God, we cannot take a different position, because we are documenting that the phenomenal rise of Black homosexuality and transgenderism in the community is not an accident, but is scientifically spawned. We are documenting that. But none of that means we are hateful of our Black LGBTQ family, because we are not. We love our family regardless of the condition that our family is found in. I'm found in my condition. I'm thankful that Allah put in Farrakhan his own heart, God's own heart, such that he loves me, and as I'm languishing in my human condition, as much as he loves every other Black person as we languish in our human condition, not excluding the Black LGBTQ community. So there are those who advocate violence against so-called woke folk, who advocate violence against our Black LGBTQ family. That is not us. We will defend the well-being of our Black LGBTQ family as we will defend the well-being of our Black drug-addicted family, as our Black the Black holes of our community. You know the Black holes, right? The Black men that have no sexual restraint and are running through our women, they are languishing in a human condition that is likewise displeasing to God. And we take a stronger position against that lifestyle as we do against homosexuality. But we don't seek violence or discrimination against any of our people. We seek redemption for all of our people.
So it's interesting that you say that, because as you know, the Nation of Islam has been listed as a hate.
I think he broke that down pretty well, and I just need everybody to know that that's my position. All right. That is, my position. I'm not going to join the Nation of Islam, I don't imagine. I'm not against it, but I just thought he broke that down pretty well, handled himself well. He just said he's taking, God's position, and that's where it's a cop-out. It's an easy answer, but, in some people's minds, because then, it could be on the premise of whether or not you believe in God, so.
Facts.
Yeah. So I happen to believe in God, and unapologetically so. So, yeah. But now at the same time, God's position is also, forgiveness, do not kill, and all of that stuff, and love your neighbor and treat people how you want to be treated. So, God's position would cover you loving everyone.
Facts.
Right. He probably could have added that, to his, diatribe there. Right. Because it's, it's a lot of, it's, you know what I mean? Well, Old Testament, they was hit them with rocks. I don't know. I don't want to talk about God's position versus religion, because religion isn't necessarily God's position.
Absolute facts.
I wonder though, bro, and I always ask about the Mormons, because they're isolated on their religious perch. Do they have, you know what I mean? Are they getting more? I say that because they don't seem to be influenced by outside programming. That's what I'm saying. So I wonder, if they're having the same increase in, LGBTQ, if they have 72 different, if their children are struggling with identifying.
I mean, if they are struggling, they leave.
Somebody beat it out of them, huh?
They had to go. They couldn't stay there.
72 Self. Facebook is recognizing. Me and you, we should come up with one and write Facebook. Huh? Yeah. I'm going to add that to the tiers. Give it some thought. You and I were going to come up with something and tell them that's what we identify as, and we want to see this recognized. And I want a bathroom. You know what I mean? What about us who were born with 2 penises and they were removed? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that happened to me because I don't answer questions or ask. But I'm saying they need a distinction. You know, I mean, you know, we should care. We should care. You know, but that's what Self was saying. He doesn't go by the oddball exceptions that people always throw in your face to to go changing the way you were raised and every strip of your foundation. You know, sometimes it could be, you know, I don't give out money, but let's give that guy $100. You know what I mean? Self, right? You know, on a regular, you don't, you know, and that's okay. On a but you still raise your kid. Hey, I don't walk down the street, you know, not saying that's right, but I don't walk down the street giving out $100 bills to every quote unquote bum that asks me. But this bum came to me. It seems real. He's got the kids there. You know what I'm trying to say? There's an exception, but that doesn't mean I change my foundation.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. 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 So other reasons, you know, but I would say also it's a matter of population control. You know, the whole thing, if you're a white supremacist, is you're worried about out there being outnumbered and, you know, the eugenics that they believe in. And so if you can, you know, add in, you know, Margaret Sanger and, you know, Planned Parenthood and then add in, you know, because we all know, you know, you're not gonna really, you know, now we got science, we can make babies, but, you know, rubbing sticks together it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and yeah, and so that's a way of decreasing our fertility, you know, our ability to keep procreating. And
Facts.
yeah,
Because if they're not interested at all, then, you know,
correct.
there'll be
But
no procreation going on.
yeah, but now they got science. And then so the science, pretty soon, Self, they won't even need a woman's womb. They're very close. I bet you they could do it now. They probably put it in a pig's womb.
They're well past that.
You think that they've printed out one of those 3D wombs and they can print I mean they can not print a baby, but then produce a baby inside one of those artificial wombs? You think they've done it, is what you've just said?
I'm not sure of the technology or what they're doing or how they, but I know that they produce humans
without the woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the test tube babies. Yeah, they have been doing that. Yeah. Wow.
Put it in something though, to, you know.
Huh. I think they conceive them in a test tube, but then they stick them in a uterus.
Right.
You got to have a uterus up until this point.
Like, you know, how I feel about the technology on this planet. So
and the technology that they would share with a Joe Smo like me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And they dosing it out to where you can pay for it.
And Self, until they can't hide it and they have to give us some of it. You know what I mean? You know, like self-driving cars. It would have slipped out that, man, this motherfucker, he wasn't even driving his car. You know what I mean? It would have been a legend. And you know how the truth comes out that there are people out here with self-driving cars, you know, and then that would have been a whole disaster. And that would have proven that there's a whole lot of technology out here that we don't know about. Right. Yeah. What else y'all got would be the thing.
Facts.
Yeah. Other reasons, yeah, just I want to feel like it's almost like a samboing of our black community, of our black men. Some modern day sambo, if you will. The feminization. I believe that some of these cats, Self, are putting on dresses just for clout. Like there's that one dude, he said he's not gay. He you know, yeah, yes. But I mean, it wasn't just a dress, you know, the Scottish wear kilts. But no, dressed like a woman and got a whole lot of views and forgot his name, but he said he's not gay at all. And if he likes it and his girl likes it, remember Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman always said he wasn't gay.
Yeah, you know. You know, I don't know what happened, but that's was all part of the movement towards it. So
Ricky Williams put on a wedding dress and then let his slave master Mike Dicker come out there escorting him out there, just like, I mean, come on, man. Like, how can that even be? Wow. Right?
That's all been, making the way for this. That's how long it's been.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
all how long it's been in effect.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
they've been pushing it.
Yeah. Wow. All right, so let's check the chat, and then because we only got one more, I believe, to show you guys, and then we'll, hit our conclusion on this, because you guys are, you're what am I looking for? You guys are shy out there, but let me check here. Yeah, it's nothing in there. So let's go ahead. Production. Let's see. We can get into the next joint out there.
Now we're talking about what has happened since the Million Man March. The prison industrial complex became what you call Wall Street business now. And the prisons began to become privatized. And during that time, the rap of the 80s
make sure
and
this
the
stays
early 90s,
on, Self.
that was
about the minister.
edutainment with Public Enemy putting intelligent lyrics. And then came NWA and Straight Outta Compton,
We've had
what they
people on our
call
show say
gangster rap. But it was
Your brother,
gangster
my
rap
brother.
in a sense when he said F the police. That was going too far. Ice-T, came out, killed the pigs.
Cosmo.
So
exactly.
now Ice-T got a television
Yeah.
show that he's a police. And I told Cube the other day, I said, man, after seeing the movie, I didn't know you were such a heavy lyricist. But because he was so brilliant as a lyricist, they took him out of the rap game, put him in movies where white folk can write scripts for him.
Facts.
And it's the same with the kings of comedy. When
Wow,
my
listen to
children
this.
told me, Daddy, you got to see this Kings of Comedy. And I saw Cedric the Entertainer,
Kings.
Hughley, Steve Harvey, and Bernie Mac.
Rest up, bro.
And those brothers were cooking, man, giving us knowledge. Every joke, some of it was pretty raw, but I enjoyed them brothers. But then Fox Television said, we can't have this. They're waking up the blacks. So we take Hughley, give him a show. We take Cedric, give him a show. We take Steve Harvey, give him
all
a show.
fiat currency.
Take Bernie Mac,
We just go
give
print
him
it
a
up
show.
and give it to
And
him.
every time you get a show, which is Jewish owned now, they put a writer there. And the writer is Jewish. And the writer is always writing things that take you down from the mountaintop
Whether he's Jewish or
of
not.
black
They got
intelligence
somebody there stopping you
and
from
militants that you were doing when
what you
you
wanna do.
were away from television. Everything is part of a game. And like they did with Dave Chappelle, Dave is a great brother, and then one day he's making a part of his television show. He comes back in his, what do you call that?
Trailer.
The place where they stay. The trailer. And there's a dress on the wall for him to wear. And he said, what's this? He said, oh, that's going to be so funny. Just put that on. See, they're promoting the feminizing of the black male. And so they offered Wesley $15 million to play a woman.
Generational
And
wealth. If you
a
don't trick 'em.
strong black man bust up. Yeah, Vin Rames.
Yeah,
and they had a scene with
Sam
him, you know, as a homosexual
way to
man,
rationalize that.
a man that did homosexual acts. They're producing things. And now here we are, 20 years later, we talking about justice or us, and we've got a feminized male and a masculinized female, and you've got same-sex marriage, and you've got drugs, guns, gangs. The trade schools that were once in the inner cities of every city, all gone. Then you had factories in the inner cities that gave unskilled labor a chance to make a decent living. They're overseas. All the factories closed. So we're being herded into an avenue of social savagery where now we're killing each other over nothing. So the condition now is worse than ever. So we got a war now on two fronts because you got police killing us wholesale too. Then you got soldiers coming back from a war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they are messed up. And there's no jobs for them. They sleeping under bridges, but they know how to kill. That's what they've been trained to do. So now you got the inner cities imploding with us against us. And so, my brother, this is the most dangerous time.
Shooting people and driving like pros. You see how he
First
said?
off, let me say that
some of those might be the military killers, man. This level of killing that's going on.
Yeah.
So
the
where it looks
expertise at which
Yes.
it happens. It's like it's done from experience.
Yes.
That
it's tactical.
Man.
Military tactical, it almost looks like. And it makes me believe every time that's 12. You know what I mean? It could be.
like a hit.
CIA. I mean, it could be. You know, but it could just be some guys who were in the military and now we're making money.
Home and doing their thing.
Yeah. Hey, but we have from Dr. Coney, who was on the show. He texted to the Self Love line. Hey, you guys could text that number too as well if you have some chatter. 424-900-6945. That number's 100%
troll free.
Because trolls will get holes.
Around
but he
here.
said, go ahead, bro. What'd you say?
I said around here.
Around here, yeah. But the doctor said a good example of minimizing our masculinity is our young black athletes. And these kids are brought up in the hood. They play sports much more aggressively. When they move to the suburbs, they are forced to play a different style of basketball, which is less aggressive. A lot of these kids lose interest because their game is now not as productive. They become fearful of even creating a foul. Yeah, that's what they do. They want to coach that out of them, have them play the game a different way. And I would always coach these kids, express yourself out there. That basketball court, express yourself out there. You know what I mean? I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got to be some, body that can, come in and move them to a different program. Because
yes, silverback the whole thing. Yeah.
Because the coach is not going to do the right thing.
And, no.
Uses attributes, accentuate them, then he doesn't need to be coaching them.
Man, your kid comes in, throws it behind the back, no look pass, and drops a dime right to somebody, and the kid shouting, "We don't do that here," and no. And like, what? Come here. You need to tell that coach to step outside and talk to him. Nobody's trying to embarrass you in front of these kids, but are you mentally less than perfect?
You practice that.
Right. Right. Or sometimes he threw the pass perfect, and because the kid wasn't, savvy, the next time the kid would get it, though. The kid didn't expect it. But if you let these kids keep doing it, you know what I mean? That kid would catch that pass the next time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Someone has a natural proclivity and a work ethic to, make a move happen. What's the white guy, great
White Chocolate? Jason Williams?
Yes, man. I watched a a video on him, man. It was like he would go in the gym and not even take a shot and be throwing round the back passes to the spot on the wall for 2
You
hours.
remember he got to a point, he did that so much he never practiced a regular he couldn't throw a regular chest pass.
Yeah.
He had devolved or evolved to a point self. He couldn't throw a regular pass to someone and all had to have that on it.
But
Because that's all he
said
did.
He didn't listen to his coach. His coach tell him not to, throw that or do that.
And he just did it more.
Yeah, I mean, he said, I worked on that. I worked on that. I'm
Correct.
using it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's just an example because he's of that.
Uh-huh. That was a little privilege there. He wasn't labeled a malcontent who doesn't listen and a hot dog, and you find a program that's gonna take you, you know what I mean? Yeah. But again, a kid would have found a program that would have taken him, and that coach knew it.
Yes. He played with Randy Moss.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that kid starting point guard at the University of Illinois playing with everybody else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
U of I wouldn't have won him. Look, he's passing behind his back. We don't, acting like they're winning stuff. Small ups. Small ups to the basketball program. All right, so yeah, seriously. This is ridiculous. Sitting there in Chicago in the Mecca and you can't get a chip. You know what I mean? You had the whole mafia behind you and everything. You couldn't even gangster the, you know what I mean? Got the officials cheating. You couldn't even, come on, Chicago. Y'all are just pathetic. But, Illinois, we'll stay out of it. All right, Self, city that works my ass. All right? Yeah, I thought y'all was gambling. Right. Yeah, exactly.
It worked.
It worked all right. You're right. They made the money on the losses. Yeah, right.
And it was a team from the city that beat them.
You're right. You're right, Self. They make money either way, right? All right. So now we just watched Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Any comments on that video? Anything anybody said so?
Yeah, he laid it out. A lot of it that we've covered most of that on this show, and he put it right together.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. Okay, bro. Well, let's jump into this final video. I think this guy kind of wrapped it up. It's from Cut to the Chase TV. Big ups. It's called From Masculine to Sassy. It's kind of my opinion as well. Maybe we just kind of overcorrected.
First off, let me say this. I don't have any problems with anybody living an alternate lifestyle. What you niggas eat don't make me shit. These are just my opinions, and I don't want no smoke.
Right.
Now that we got that out the way, let's talk about the feminization of the black man's image. There's definitely an agenda in place to make this the default image of the black man. Now, there are black men who identify with this lifestyle. There are black men who are living this lifestyle. But the number is really low. So my problem is that the media overly promotes this image.
I thought you were lying when you said dress.
Promotes this image. If you are a feminized black man, the media will parade you around, shove a microphone down your throat, put a camera in your face, give you all the magazine covers, basically using you to push their agenda. And I'm going to just be honest and say it. I didn't know who the hell Billy Porter was till I seen that brother in a dress. And I've been seeing him since.
I didn't know who he was, so I watched this video.
Dress on, he just been all over the TV. I still don't even know what he do.
I still don't know
on TV. He talk about everything but his career choice. Shout out to Billy Porter.
Saying. He be talking
Lil Nas X, he showed up to the Grammys in a pink outfit with stones in it, and they gave this nigga the longest red carpet interview I have ever seen. This nigga was on the red carpet for 1 hour and 17 minutes and 53 seconds.
Fuck he was talking about. Excuse me.
Snoop Dogg's son, Cordell Brody.
This is Snoop's son.
This guy took a photo shoot in women's clothing. And he claims he's straight. So I guess he's just a willing participant in the agenda.
Yes, because he's
rich.
I
sit back, I look at these cases. I gauge the temperature of social media. I gauge black
so
men thoughts.
I think when they catching cases and stuff now, they tell them, you can wear a skirt and some pumps.
They think
you know what I mean?
Is pushing an agenda to destroy their image.
They don't want to be a snitch.
Pointing the finger at everybody else.
You take this route.
I'm pointing the finger right back at us. Black men. When are you actually going to define your own image? Back in the day, you let the media define you as criminal, violent, sexual deviance. You let your own women define you as down low brothers, deadbeat. So when are we actually going to pick up the mantle and define our own image?
Man.
When are we actually going to push our own narrative? When are we actually going to have our own black male media to portray ourselves the way we want to be portrayed instead of relying on everybody else? And I'm going to be honest, black men, we'll sit around, we'll let people define our image. We'll let people portray us any type of way they want. We'll let people talk about us any type of way they want, and we'll wait years before we get the guts, the courage to speak up and say anything.
No,
we wait till the agenda is over before we start raising hell about it. We always want to be hindsight looking.
Late 80s.
We don't never realize things
y'all
in
don't
real
be listening.
Because this was a transition that was happening for years. We went from baggy jeans,
just like when we talk about gentrification,
don't nobody listen. To crop tops. We went to crop tops to skirts. We went to dresses. So this been happening for a minute. And we wait till the agenda is damn near done before we speak out and say anything. We don't even support black male media. We don't. Anytime a black brother is trying to portray us in a positive light, do we support them? No. We just bitch, moan, and complain when the mainstream media do it. Start supporting your own brother that's trying to portray us in a positive light. You don't like the way the mainstream media does it.
Facts.
Yeah, we good talkers, we good complainers. We can tell you everything what's wrong with the mainstream media, but we can't support another brother who's trying to portray us in a positive light. I think a lot of us just like to complain. A lot of us just like to sound smart. A lot of us can break it all down. The media is doing this, that. Break it down from all type of angles, but we can't even support another brother. I know what y'all thinking. Well, it's not no black male media I can support. Start with O'Shea Duke Jackson, the Negro Manosphere.
Man.
Every black man should be subscribed
TATN.
to that website. There's dating advice on there, business advice, and lifestyle advice on that website. And it's dedicated to black men for black men. It portrays black men in a positive light. If you don't like the way the mainstream media is distorting your image, support this brother.
Yeah.
He got free ebooks on his website. Go to his website and check him out. So yeah, black men, we got to stop complaining about the way mainstream media is pushing our image and start pushing it ourselves. If we don't have the means necessary to push our own image, then we got to support another brother that's pushing our image in a positive light.
Fact.
We got to show brothers that it's beneficial to them to push our image in a positive light. We got to reciprocate the value given by these brothers who are pushing our image. Instead of just complaining on the internet, whining, crying about the way mainstream media is doing it, just start getting behind other black men that's doing it the right way. Black women promotes their image in a positive way all the time. Magazines, websites, award shows. When are black men going to start doing that? It's easy to get on the internet, make a video complaining and whining about the way the mainstream media is pushing your image. My advice is, what you gonna do about it? And I hope the answer to that question is not you sitting on YouTube making videos complaining about it. I hope it's portraying yourself the way you want it to be portrayed. Supporting the other brothers that do it. Getting behind a movement. Supporting magazines, supporting websites. As I said before, the Negro Manosphere is a great website. So we need to start there. Creating these videos on YouTube is not really doing anything in the big picture. It's just a lot of niggas running their damn mouth about something they think they know. So these are my thoughts on this. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. I love you guys. Cut to the Chase TV. I'm out.
Big ups. Cut to the Chase TV. Thoughts, Self Love? Any thoughts on that? I thought that this cat was on point. You know, he said it's just basically how you carry yourself and then, you know, promote others who carry themselves a certain way.
Yeah, like minds. I agree with you. I agree with him. You know what I mean? We need to support each other, period. And we need to figure that out. That's one of our principles, recycle the money. And we're really, that's got to happen for us to get out of this. We got to be able to share business and share the dollars and rotate the money to grow. It's how it's how it's done. And we have to follow that model to a certain degree, but make sure that we recycle the money and work together.
Man, and pay a fair price when you're doing business with your brother. I mean, you know, geez, right? Man, well, you know, you don't walk in McDonald's like, man, can you knock off $1.50? You know what I mean? You wouldn't walk on the plantation and ask master that, and you know it. Another thing, I'm way off base here too, right? Self, and stop I see my black people out there, being professional and nice and courteous with white folks. I'm not saying stop doing that. I would never say that. I just say I'd love to see what? Black folks being nice and courteous and professional with one another. I mean, so you really have to be conscious of that. If you find yourself out there, holding doors for white people and smiling and yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I mean, you know what I mean? It's a conditioning. But if you find yourself doing that, right, you can even that out by doing what, Self?
Holding it for us. That's what you
Man,
gotta do.
and yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and king and queen, and uplifting one another. That's what we should be doing, But when we see each other, it's a mean mug. It's not a smile. It's itself. It's a mean mug. Yeah. And I'm just talking about, you know what I'm
general,
saying?
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's got to
walk
stop.
around, look past that, and I get a lot of look. I nod and talk to people.
Yeah.
In my path. And,
Yeah.
That's something we got to do too.
Yeah, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. No matter how they look, you know what I mean? This person may look like they're, because yes, chances they might, take everything from you. But you think by you saying, hey, what's up, King? Good morning. Hey, hello, King. How are you? Nice day today. You think that's going to make you more likely or less likely to get a blick put to the side of your head or equal likely? So if it's equal likely or as likely or what, less likely, do it. Yeah.
I mean, it's spreading love anyway.
Correct. Yeah. Now you've done that. Maybe they were going to murk you, and now they just taking everything and left. Yeah. You can always, replace all of that. But
best case scenario, they abort their plans and walk away.
That often happens, and you would never know that they aborted their plans and walked away. You would never know, right? And that's a good thing. Yes.
Absolutely.
You know how many times you've probably saved yourself and you don't even know just by vibrating love, and you don't even know. Somebody probably said, man, the next person that treats me like crap, I'm going to shoot them in their face. And you came down the street, Self, and, vibrated love. And that guy went down the street and turned the corner and shot the next person in their face. And you look at the news like, whoa.
Wow.
I think that was that guy. Yeah. But I do want to, Self, on this, this topic. I just want to make it be known, Silverdale is not anti, black homosexuality, right? You know what I mean? We're not anti that in the community. We're going to talk about it. When I say we, I'm saying I. It's a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be talked about. I mean, are we anti that? But I'm going to say no. We love all people. That's what I'm going to say. But that's going to come up on the Code Show. That's why Self Love and I, brought that up at the top of the show. We're going to talk about that. We have to unpack what the code is because there's so many different messages and so much confusion in the world now.
Yes.
72 different genders. I mean, I remember I walked in the wrong bathroom, Self. I swear, man, I was feeling good, got off a flight, was drinking. I had 4 options. I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? I was tired. Yeah, it was in L.A. I think I had like 4 options. You know what I mean?
4 options?
Yeah, and I was like, wow. And I asked somebody who worked there, like a janitor or something. And yeah, I walked in the wrong one myself. There's something they said. Like, man, jeez. You just got to get to the point where I guess there's one stall and one toilet in each one, and there's a bunch of different individual bathrooms, bro. So nobody's butt hurt.
Yeah. They're going to have to figure something out. I don't think they're going to make 72 bathrooms. So
Facebook, and I meant to research that. Like 72. We might have to unpack that, Self. We might have to do a whole show on these 72 genders.
Goodness gracious. I can't imagine.
Maybe
imagine.
Maybe the aliens are here. But so yeah, you guys, that's what we got tomorrow, right here at 7 p.m. Central Standard. It's going to be the On Code show. I think it's titled like how to, stay on code in today's urban America. So definitely look out for that. And you guys go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. We're going to turn this over to the master of words, the wordsmith, to give us his final words out there. We got to come up with a song too, man. Make a track or something. I know. We'll talk about it later. But produce some music for this. All right, but go ahead, Self.
Whew. Breathe in, gotta breathe out. Toxic masculinity versus hyper feminization. I don't think either you can raise a nation. You need some balance and need somewhere in between. But we need roles to fall where they're supposed to. Understand what I mean? The only way we can exist crisp and clean is have defined roles between your relationship, whatever that means. It's a lot of things we got to learn. Slip between the seams and discern what is best for you and what is best for community. Because at the end of that word is unity. And that's where we need to be. Silverdale, you and me. It's my final words. The Self Luv.